Okay, more graphing and find the domain of these radicals. Okay, now we're going to try and graph the square root of x minus 1. Now notice the negative 1 is inside the radical. Okay, the previous one had, I think, had a negative 4, but it was outside the radical. So again, we've got to look for numbers that we can square root. So really, this is up to you on the test. Right now, we've been given a little table to use because, watch. Where's my pen? Right. When x is 1, okay, here we go. When x is 1, what's 1 take away 1? It's 0. What's the square root of 0? It's 0. Okay? So I should put an arrow, it looks like negative on there. So when x is 1, all right, 1 take away 1 is 0. I can square root of 0. How about when x is 2? Okay? Well, if I put a 2 in here, what's 2 take away 1? That's 1. I can square root of 1. It's 1. Okay? So notice I'm putting numbers where the x are so that when I do the little algebra inside the radical, I get something I can square root. If I put 3 in there, what's 3 take away 1? It's 2. I can't do the square root of 2. Well, I can put it in my calculator, but it's going to be hard to plot. So I'm picking numbers that will work, because look at this one. If I put a 5 in there, what happens when x is 5? 5 take away 1 is 4. I can square root of 4. It's 2. Okay, so remember, I'm square rooting everything inside this radical. Okay, now I've added this extra one because if you have to make these up yourself, you've got to think, okay, what can I square root next? I can square root a 9. How can I make a 9 inside that radical if x is 10, right? Because 10 take away 1 is 9. That's why I've added 10. That's not part of the original table. I've added it because it makes sense. 10 take away 1 is 9. Square root of 9, you get 3. So I'm plotting all these. Right, when x is 1, so about here, y is 0. Okay, so that there. Okay, the x is 1, y is 0. No up and down. When x is 2, y is 1. So I'm going to put that like that. Okay. When x is 5, that way over here, y is 2. So I'll put it about there. Okay. And finally, when x is 10, all the way over here, y is 3. So about there. Okay. So we get another one of these classic root x curves. Okay. Here we go. If I can draw these. Not too bad. And again, it will go on forever. All right. Because that's the graph. Now, what's the domain? Okay. Now, where does it start on the x-axis? And where does it go to on the x-axis? It starts right here at 1, all right, and it will go on to infinity. Now, it will not be anything less than 1, because if I put, say, what happens if I put 0 in for x? Well, 0 take away 1 is negative 1, and I can't square root negatives, okay? So, the domain of this graph is it goes from 1, I'll do it in interval notation, cat, and it goes as far as infinity. Okay, and that's it. That's the interval notation for that's the domain. Okay, for this graph, it goes from 1 to infinity. It does not go less than 1. It can't do because you'll end up squaring negatives. If I want set notation, it's x's greater than or equal to 1. Remember the fancy way? Put the x in front here, and those curly parentheses. Okay, if you can kind of draw them, not too easy with this thing. Okay, so either interval notation or set notation, and that's it for that one.